What up, bozos? This is my crypto. He can't fly, but he eats like a super dog. Yep. Right, Oreo?
Yep. Also behaves like one too.
To all my fellow DC fans out there, as a Marvel fan, congratulations. Y'all have arrived. Take a bow. Clap it up. Cry tears of joy, whatever you want. Because I think this is the start of forever for DC. Praise the Lord! I'm here with my boy Joby. Today we're reviewing Superman, the movie, 2025 Superman. But before I give you my thoughts on the film, I'm going to go ahead and let Joby give his thoughts. It's Jobys Thoughts. Here we go.
The best film we ever got in the DCU. Yep. Snyder fans can eat it.
You, I'm already there with you though.
But I do really like the vibrancy of this movie. I mean, this movie is really bright and it shows you. I mean, there's multiple scenes where Superman is surrounded by sun. Many moments where when you come to see a Superman movie and when you perceive him in the comics, it seems like it's plastered right there for all of us to see. His relationship with others is really nice, and I understand the complaint of cluttered characters, but this is a brand new DCU, and we're getting to see all of it. So I feel like it's a nice way to just immediately get wrapped into it without being too much into DC. Yeah. So it's a perfect wrap in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's the best superhero movie so far for DC. I mean, the Batman's pretty well.
Like I said in the beginning, I think James Gunn knows what he's doing. We both love the film. One of the highlights for me, this is Superman, emphasis on the man part, right? It speaks to Clark Kent's humanity, speaks to Superman's humanity, and I think that's what we all wanted. Like Joby said, he's a symbol of hope, and that's what we wanted from a Superman film. And as somebody who doesn't really hate Man of Steel, that movie wasn't very Superman to me. This one was. Even as somebody who doesn't know much about Superman, you could tell that this feels like the comic book iteration of Superman.
It definitely has reflections of real life into it, and I really like that. I mean, I know Fox News doesn't, but super woke. That one specifically makes me mad. Okay, I just think every movie should have some reflection of what was happening in real life. Yeah,
and I like it because there is a reflection of what's happening in real world, but it's subtle. Yeah. It's not too on the nose.
It's not as much as people say.
Yeah, so the super woke, that's bullshit. Back to the review. Like I said, this movie has a lot of heart. I think James Gunn does a good job of balancing heart and humor. The humor is not so bad to the point where it takes you out of the movie. I think it's just enough to sprinkle it in with some emotional scenes. So I think the balance between humor and heart, I really loved. It's part of what works in James Gunn movies. The three Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and now this one. Even though people complain that this is too Guardians of the Galaxy for them, but I think it's different.
Yeah. Others have said the moments with letting things simmer, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's as much of an issue as people say.
Yeah, people say that he has issues with letting things simmer. I disagree. There's a scene here between Clark Kent and his dad that I think it's very emotional and it's played out. It's not interrupted by a joke or nothing. It's emotional and James Gunn lets it play out. There's no jokes there, so I think there's a good balance.
The character as well.
Yeah, so there's a good balance between heart and comedy. So I got no problems there. Point number 2 for me, I think David Cornsway is a good Superman. He's able to balance that idea of him being this almost godly being, but also being a man at the same time. He knows he can do good and he wants to do good, but he knows that he makes mistakes and he's human at the end of the day. Right, we've all probably seen the clips going around online, either on TikTok or whatever, of what he says to Lex Luthor. I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but you guys probably all know what I'm talking about. But it's the emphasis on him being human and that he knows he's human, even though he is the super godly type being.
Like James Gunn always does, he always has a very music-filled action scene. I think Mr. Terrific as a character does something but add to the story. I know people hate the clutter as stated before, but his character honestly made it a more enjoyable experience. I feel like I didn't really know about Mr. before, but I really respect his character now. I mean, he's honestly just fun to watch and fun personality.
So that's another highlight I think for both of us, Mr. Terrific. I think he was done beautifully in this film. Like Joby said, I didn't really know anything about him either, but now he's one of my favorite parts of this movie. And so that's why the idea that it was too cluttered, I think, doesn't really work for me. Because every character served its purpose. The Green Lantern, the Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific, they all have a part to play in this film. So even though it's jam-packed with characters, I think every character has a reason for being there. Even the people from the Daily Planet, all the reporters from the Daily Planet, like they serve a purpose in this film. So it doesn't feel jam-packed to me. I think it's like well thought out, well planned out, and it works. Another highlight for me is Rachel Brosnahan. I hope that's how you say her last name. As Lois Lane. I think she's probably the best live-action adaptation of Lois Lane we've ever gotten. I thought she was great. So the actors, the jokes, the heartfelt moments, I think everything in this movie works. And I've seen it like 3 times already. I know Joby has seen it twice. So I think it's a good start for the DCEU. The question now becomes, can James Gunn hire other people to make films, right, as the head of DC, to keep this rolling and keep the momentum going? Because as a big Marvel fan, I really want to see DC win. I want to see both companies do well in the movie theaters.
Because as much as we love James Gunn, I don't believe he can make a Batman movie.
Yeah. So now the question becomes, can he hire somebody to make the Batman? Can he hire somebody to make, the Green Lantern Corps, Wonder Woman, all these other movies? So we all know he's a good director. Now, can he lead the DC into this? Because I want DC to have, their Infinity War moment. I want DC to have their Endgame moment that we had over on the Marvel side. I want them to have that too. This like fan-filled moment like Infinity War, and hopefully they get it. And I think James Gunn is leading them in the right direction to finally do that. Also, final thoughts, Superman.
I think we can't forget about Lex Luthor. I feel like when you watch this movie, you really feel his hatred for Superman. But as well as not only that, he understands his own envy, which makes him even like at some point scarier. Like It seems like he understands himself and refuses to change. Yeah. And he's really doing things just for the purpose of the hatred for another. Makes him like really as funny and fun, but also scary to watch. I mean, there's certain scenes where like
makes him a legit villain.
You really feel like he is the villain for Superman.
Last thing, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating first. So first of all, for me, this movie's a 9.5. I really couldn't find anything to complain about, so I couldn't give it a lower score. I guess the one thing that I've heard other people say that maybe feel too is that maybe that this movie was even longer. I have no proof about that, but they tried to shorten it as best they could. So, but that's the only thing. For me, it's a 9.5. It's almost a perfect film, a great start to the new DCU. And in terms of the Eddie G tag, this is Blu-ray material. I'm gonna buy this on 4K Blu-ray, put it on my special film shelf, because that's what it is to me. DC is back. I'm happy for all my DC fans out there. As a Marvel fan, because I'm not that much of a DC fan, but I want to see both winning. I want us to be kumbaya, holding hands together around the fire. So that's what I like.
For me, I feel like it's not his movie. Sometimes I understand the consistencies and the fact that he uses already set pieces to start us into a kind of forward part in the story. But the reason it's still a 9 for me is because I feel like those complaints themselves are very nitpicky and don't deserve a 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 rating that I've seen before.
This is Ground Entertainment. This is our review of Superman 2025. I say that because there's other big movies that have been called Superman as well. So this is the James Gunn Superman. Thought it was a great start. DCU, can't wait to see what's next. We're getting Supergirl next year. That's not a secret. Everybody's known that already. So can't wait for that. We got a lot of stuff coming, so if you want to see our reviews, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot here on Ground Entertainment. Thanks for watching.
Most closed definite review will be Fantastic Four.
Yep. Thanks for watching. This is Ground Entertainment. I'm the G. That's Joby.
See you.
See you later.